All right, let's dive in. Today, we're going to talk about one of the biggest, most important decisions you have to make when you're moving to the cloud. How do you actually get your stuff there? Believe me, it's a choice that has some pretty big consequences down the line.
I want you to think about it like a road trip. Your destination is the cloud, but there are two totally different ways to get there. You've got the express lane, which is all about getting there as fast as humanly possible, and then you have the scenic route, where you take your time and maybe upgrade your car along the way. So, which one do you pick?
You know, in the world of cloud architecture, this isn't just some fun little metaphor. These two paths have real, official names. And honestly, just understanding the difference between them is the absolute first step to making your cloud move a success.
Okay, first up, we have rehosting. You're going to hear people call this lift and shift all the time. This is our express lane. You're basically just picking up your application exactly as it is and dropping it onto a new home in the cloud. It's fast, it's direct, it's super straightforward.
And then you've got the scenic route, replatforming, or what some folks call lift and reshape. Now, here you're not just moving, you're making some smart little tweaks and modifications along the way. The idea is to start using some of those cool cloud features right away, but without having to, completely tear down and rebuild your app.
All right, so let's dig into this first path a little deeper. What does taking the Rehost Express lane actually look like? What does it feel like for your team?
Look, the name of the game here is speed. Pure and simple. Maybe you've got a data center lease that's about to expire, or maybe you just need to scale up like yesterday. The number one priority is getting onto that cloud infrastructure, end of story.
And yeah, the process is just as straightforward as you'd think. It's basically a two-step dance. First, you lift your existing virtual machine, which is just a neat little package of your entire server, and then you shift it over to a cloud provider service, something like Google Compute Engine. It's kind of like renting a powerful, empty server room in the cloud.
So what's the appeal? Why would you go this route? Well, all the benefits are right here, right now. It is by far the fastest way to migrate. It takes the least amount of upfront work, no major technical headaches, and you barely have to touch your application's code. Plus, your teams already know how everything works because, well, nothing's really changed. So if we go back to our car analogy, you haven't changed your car one bit. It's the same engine, same paint job. You've just moved it out of your old dusty garage and into a brand new high-tech facility with better power and way better security.
Okay, let's switch gears and talk about path number 2. The scenic route is a very, very different kind of trip.
With replatforming, the goal isn't just to get to the cloud, it's to actually benefit from being in the cloud. You're not just moving, you're looking to actively improve your application by using all the new tools you have in this new environment.
Now, this process, it's definitely got a few more steps. First, you have to analyze your app and find the parts that are ripe for an upgrade. A classic example is your database. Instead of running it yourself, which can be a huge pain, you modify your app to use a managed service, like Cloud SQL. That way, Google handles all the tough stuff for you. Then, you deploy that newly tuned-up version.
So, why bother with all that extra work? Well, the payoff is huge, but it's all about the long game. You're putting in a little more effort now to get massive advantages later on. We're talking better performance, easier scalability, and lower costs, because you're letting the cloud provider handle the boring, repetitive work. This is how you start your journey to a truly modern application.
So yeah, we're not just moving the car to a new garage anymore. This is like trading in that old, reliable clunker for a brand new hybrid. Sure, there's a bit more paperwork up front, and you gotta learn more all the new buttons are. But wow, the fuel efficiency and the smooth ride on the highway, it's a total game changer.
All right, so there you have it. The fast and furious express lane and the slow and steady scenic route. Now for the big question. How on earth do you decide which one is right for you?
This table really breaks it down for us. If speed is your absolute top priority and you need to keep effort and initial costs low, then Rehost is a no-brainer. It's the clear winner. But if you're thinking long-term and your goal is to get the absolute most out of the cloud, high optimization, better efficiency, then replatform is where the real magic happens. There's no single right answer here. It's all about your priorities.
But here's the secret, and this is super important. The best cloud strategies, the ones that really work, they know that the journey doesn't just end with that first move. In fact, that's just the beginning. And this brings us to a really big risk you take when you jump on that express lane without a plan for what comes next. It's a concept called the lift and shift freeze, and it's a trap that is so easy to fall into.
So what is this freeze? Imagine you've sped down the highway, you pull into the first rest stop, and you just never leave.
That's the freeze. You've technically arrived in the cloud, but you're not actually using any of the cool stuff. You're paying for a 5-star hotel, but you're just sleeping in the lobby.
Okay, so here's the key takeaway, the big aha moment. This isn't really an either-or choice. The smartest strategy isn't about picking just one path. It's about planning a full itinerary, a multi-stage journey that actually uses both.
And this is how the pros do it. They play both sides. You use Rehost, our express lane, to get to the cloud fast, to hit that deadline, to get out of that data center. But, and this is the critical part, you arrive with a plan already in your back pocket, a plan to then take the scenic route, piece by piece, modernizing the most important parts of your application over time.
You see? With this approach, you get the best of both worlds. You get that quick win right now, and you get the massive long-term payoff later. So as you plan your own move to the cloud, the real question you need to ask yourself isn't which road should I take? It's this. Is your cloud strategy just a final destination? Or is it the start of a constant, amazing evolution?